This is a tutorial on how to use the tool Padgram. I'll begin with an introduction to patterns, then I will explain how to use Padgram to learn patterns specifically. Based on the important findings in pattern grammar, this tool intends to provide second foreign language learners frequent patterns of English words, including verbs, nouns, and adjectives. Here I am showing two important publications on this topic. What is a pattern? Language learners have to learn that verbs like appear and manage are followed by a to infinitive only. For example, appear to do something and manage to do something. Finish and suggest are followed by a present participle only. Finish doing something and suggest doing something. Begin and like are followed by either form with roughly the same meaning. But forget, remember, stop, and try have different meanings when used with each form. This approach to grammar of individual words is called patterns. According to researchers in pattern grammar, two important observations can help students learn patterns of English words, learn the meaning of each pattern, and extend their vocabulary. These observations are, first, the different meanings of words tend to be distinguished by different patterns. Take the verb reflect, for example. When used in different patterns, reflect tends to have different meanings. When used in the pattern VN, which means verb plus N, it means showing an attitude or situation exists, like in the sentence, the riots reflected the bitterness between the two communities. However, when used in the pattern VPrep preposition, it means light or heat bounces off a surface, such as the sun reflected off the snow-covered mountains. The second important observation is that particular patterns will tend to be associated with lexical items that have particular meanings. Take the pattern VN from N, for example. All verbs in this pattern can be categorized into different meaning groups. Here, I am showing three of many meaning groups for this pattern. Under the stop group, all the verbs are concerned with stopping someone from doing something, such as discourage, prevent, restrict, etc. When these verbs have the same meaning, stop someone from doing something, all these verbs can be used in the same pattern VN from N. Now that you understand the two important things about patterns, I will show you how to use the web-based tool Padgram. As a student, you can choose practice on your own or practice in class, which requires a 4-digit code from your teacher. The difference is that for practice in class option, you will see a list of words your teacher would like you to study. When you write a sentence in the text box, only the words assigned will be highlighted. Currently, this tool provides pattern information for verbs only. Also, when you click on the highlighted verb, you will see certain patterns, and certain example verbs are highlighted by your teacher to draw more of your attention. For example, if you write a sentence, I lack of courage, but you are not quite sure whether you use the correct pattern of the verb lack, then you can click on the verb to read more. The pattern for lack is named as ergative. This means that this verb can be used in both patterns V and VN. The capital V stands for the target verb, in this case lack. Click on the pattern, then you will see all the example verbs. For example, audition, enroll, enlist, etc. that can be used in the ergative pattern. In this case, the pattern lack of is being used and is not correct. It should be I lack courage. Since these verbs do not share a certain meaning, They are grouped under verbs with other meanings. You could also have a look at the example sentences to get an idea how to use the patterns in sentences. Besides ergative, there are also other terms you may need. Please click on Help on the front page to understand special terms for grammar patterns. Let's have a look at another verb, yield. It has 3 pattern meaning group combinations with 2 of them highlighted by the teacher. You can click on each one to read more. I am clicking the pattern V to N and the submit group. The meaning section describes the general meaning of all verbs under this pattern meaning group combination. The 2 verbs submit and surrender are highlighted for more attention. You might need to pay attention here. First, all these verbs have the similar meaning submissive behavior. Second, all these verbs share the same pattern V to N. If you do not know the meaning of some verbs, such as defer or grovel, you can still make a guess that these 2 verbs also indicate submissive behavior. In addition, if you use the verb submit too many times in your paper and you would like to use a different verb, you can start with this list. For teacher users, you could register and create a class with this site. After logging in, you can click Account. You can click Account, My Class, then Add a Class. Then the system will generate a 4-digit code for your class, shown right here. You need to give this code to your students to have them practice and learn patterns in your class. Then you can click on your class to add words to your class. In your teacher's private page, you can type in a verb in the text box at the top and then click Add. And then the target verb will be added to your class. Then you can click each verb, then click Edit to highlight patterns or example verbs you would like your students to pay more attention to. This is the end of the tutorial.